Hey guys, time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So today Rafa and I both again focused on the 71 Karmann Ghia. So let's talk about what Rafa did first. Sorry for that jackhammering sound, shop across the fence there. Maybe you guys can hear that. So today he went ahead and pulled out these fresh air inlets here and cleaned them all up in there, repainted the screens black, and then put in new seals in here. So looks much better. The old seals were very crusty looking and had paint on them for when they'd been masked off and painted, or when the car was painted they were masked off, but you know, still had kind of some paint on them, and again were very crusty looking. So yeah, I mean the front of this car looks really nice, so seemed kind of ashamed to leave some detail like that hanging. So now they look as good as the rest of it. And let's see, what else did he do? So he replaced, probably hard to see since I don't have my light on me, so these hoses up in here, replaced some of that stuff. The old ones were very crusty looking, and just a lot of little details like that. Went ahead and put back on these axis covers, so there's 1, 2, 3 that we had powder coated, and so they look brand new, probably better than new. And let's see, he replaced this hose here, which we had previously put on, but the one that we bought had a cosmetic defect in it that was making the owner a little nervous, so no big deal. We went ahead and swapped it out, and now it looks perfect. And what else? Some little details. Put the little stoppers on the glove box. I'm not even going to bother opening up and showing it because those are that uninteresting. And I think those are kind of the main things. Rafa also spent some time, as well as myself today, on the 64 Beetle. The fellow that's doing the final body work before paint thought he was done, and we came back, and because we're hawks for detail, we found probably a dozen little things that weren't quite up to our standards, so we went and marked all those, and hopefully those will all be addressed. Pretty minor things, but for a car that nice as the 64 one family car, we basically want perfection everywhere, so that's what we're chasing. So we both spent some time on that car today. So I guess we technically didn't only work on the Ghia today, but anyhow. So how about me? What did I do today? Again, I also focused on this car. So, I'm getting ready to go ahead and put the motor in it. So there were some details on the motor that were kind of dangling there still that I wanted to take care of. One of which was the fuel line. So what we do on motors like this, because they look bitchin', is we use the copper fuel line. So these are actually off a 40 horse. They are not made to fit a later motor, but with some tweaking and some trimming and a little elbow grease, you can actually make them fit really nice right here. So basically I formed these lines, and then kind of at the same time you install these, you have to install the front engine tin at the same time. Basically it's like a puzzle putting this stuff together, and of course with the grommet in here so the tin doesn't cut through the fuel line. And then I also went ahead and put on the rest of the doghouse cooling system. So oil cooler sits in this thing here called a doghouse, and then there's this triangular piece that probably has a real name, not just a triangular piece, but that's what I call it. And then from there the air blows down into this little vent and then under the package tray area. So the engine is not recirculating this warm air that's coming through the cooler and so on over here. So yeah, I installed all this stuff today. It's kind of a pain, and it needs foam seal. So I got some 1/4-inch foam from the upholstery shop next door and trimmed little strips and glued it in. So there's a piece there, and then there's a piece right here as well. Got that all installed. So this motor is pretty much ready to plug into the car now. I don't know of any other major detail that it needs before it goes in. You know, obviously it still needs a fan belt and stuff like that, but that's easy enough to do on the car. I don't think I put the oil drain plate on it yet either, but yeah, it's pretty much ready to go in the car. All the stuff that would be more difficult to do in the car is done as far as I can tell. So in addition to the motor needing to be ready to go into the car has to be ready to have its motor. And so today I started a pain in the butt, which is putting in the engine sound deadening material. So you can see it there. I've got 3 of the 5 pieces in. So 1, 2, 3. It's really a pain in the butt. So this kit came from Karmann Ghia Parts and Restoration. It fit pretty well. I'm not going to say it was perfect. I did have to trim around the hinges some because it was too wide across there, and so it would have caused some buckling in here. We want it to lay nice and flat. And then, of course, this piece over here on these later Ghias, the voltage regulator mounts over here. So I had to kind of figure out exactly where that went and then cut an opening for it. And then on this side, there's some smog hose that the owner wanted me to retain. So I had to kind of figure out where to poke that hole. And but yeah, no, it's actually looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, but it doesn't just go right in. You have to fight with it some. And so the tabs aren't bent yet because I want to be able to remove it just in case. But as soon as I finalize it, I'll go ahead and bend all the tabs, and then it's pretty much in there for good. But yeah, so I got that installed except for the side pieces. The side pieces, there's actually boards that support them because this material here has no real structure of its own. I don't have those boards, so I'm going to have to find some material and create those. I don't know if those boards are available or not. I'll have to see if they are, but anyway, the engine compartment is about ready to accept the engine. So I think that is pretty much it for today. So with that, I will sign off. Thanks guys for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow. Have a good one.